Hello and welcome to another episode of the Treehouse Storyteller. The stories get more epic as we go. This one is Truck Guy. Truck Guy is a persona that I invented at work. He's half MacGyver, half cheerleader, and half Dr. Phil. This one is a really big story, so let's just get started right away. Actually, we don't need coffee. Truck Guy's been up for hours. This is the legend of Truck Guy. The trucks gather, and now my watch begins. It shall not end until I yell power cables. I shall live and die with my Starbucks. I am the soldering iron in the darkness. I am the watcher on the trucks. I am the shield that guards the shows of men. I pledge my sleep and sanity to the truck's watch. For this show and all the shows to come. As you can tell from the t-shirt, I'm the Truck Guy. I printed up these t-shirts back in 2005, and people have been calling me Truck Guy ever since. I know. Some of you might be asking yourselves, what's a truck guy? Let me explain. Truck Guy is a nickname for a television engineer that operates the mobile television truck. Back in the early days of mobile television, there was only one engineer per truck to handle all of the engineering responsibilities. These days, teams of engineers are assigned to run mobile television trucks. Anytime there's many different engineers working together, there's a lot of opportunity to learn from your more experienced coworkers. What? Don't fight. There's enough. Now I can finally tell this epic story. I'm Truck Guy. Everyone in American television knows this famous shirt, knows this beautiful face, and knows my very unique reputation. Thank you for shopping. The answer's always yes. If I don't have one, I'll solder you one. I'm the guy they sent you to go find at strike. They'd say, go next door and find Sonny D, because he'll know what to do. And I'll always say the same thing. Go get me 2 screwdrivers and a needle nose, and I'll show you how to get your Canon lens back to work. Being a mobile television engineer meant millions of frequent flyer miles and access to the biggest sports on television. NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, NASCAR, NHRA, college football and basketball, Kentucky Derbies, game day, and some of my favorites, the Westminster Dog Show, and of course, motorcycle racing. When I would wake up and look out the window, every single day was different. A different sport, a different city, a different time zone, a different climate, different local accents, and a different barbecue sauce. There was always so much more to see and learn. My life out on the road was never boring. I would get sent out to cover all kinds of different sports, and no matter how muddy my strike was going to be, I was always happy when my shows were going smooth. This is what I look like when my director is happy. Since I love motorcycles, here's a completely different kind of motorcycle racing, a little less muddy, but a little more my high speed. But even these guys can't figure it out sometimes. Hey, get off my lawn! That's what it sounds like outside the TV truck. Now let's go inside and listen to what it sounds like when everything is running smoothly.
Good, really good. Stand by 6. X6. The bill and board of my...
Remember, I send television shows all over the world. Different markets in different countries, different crews, different languages. That's what I love about making television. Now that you know that, enjoy this clip, because this director is one of my all-time favorites.
First and second, good. It's overtaking now, good. Nice. Okay, stand by 9, stand by 9. Álvaro. Take 9. Mira't si tens la última, mira't si tens la càmera nova. Stand by Joshua, first and second. Tighten, okay, good. Stand by 10, stand by 10. Take 10. Good, Joshua, shoot. Okay, going good, Joshua, doesn't lose 2 bikes, doesn't lose it. Good. Stand by 11, 2 bikes, please. Okay, good.
But it's not always good times and dancing for the Truck Guy, because sometimes things go wrong. I heard them call over the intercom that one of the cameras was glitching, which is a code word for, hey, Truck Guy, stop dancing and go get your tools. So the mission is to go fix the camera. Focus, soldier. Do not get distracted by the cheerleaders.
I need the camera back. Gotta pop the camera out.
Oh, camera back.
Pull that, lift that right there. Start setting this up. start setting this up.
Whenever a camera is glitching, there's usually some kind of dirt blocking the light in the fiber optic cable. First, you have to pull the camera body out and swap out the side. That means you got to take the side of the camera off. Now, this is a camera that costs about as much as my house. After we replaced the camera side, we reinstalled the camera and fired it up to see if the problem had gone away. But now we had a different problem. This is the challenge of my job. So we get the camera reinstalled and went to check it, but now it's showing a different error. Back down he comes.
Down. It's not on? No light? Red light. A red light.
That means there's probably dirt in the connector. So we've changed out the camera cable, we reconnected everything on the new cable, and we tested out the camera.
Go. It's the jumper. You're on it though, right? You're up?
We actually had two problems. A good truck guy comes prepared for every emergency. Or two. Thumbs up. Truck guy can go back to dancing. Soon, I started training. Every young new road engineer would get an intervention. Hi, I'm truck guy. Do you know who I am? Sit down. I'm going to teach you all about your job. Sit. Because I love you. Ting. Then I would show you guys over 800 pictures of television troubleshooting solutions. I took pictures of all the equipment that I ever fixed and any technical challenges and solutions that I've encountered. If you took my class, then you understand that most problems would never have happened if there was discipline. Discipline is my legacy. Double check your voltages. Monitor everything. Your truck is your baby. Know when she's happy and know when she's asking you for attention. How do you ever find your hotel bed if you have a different address every 3 days? Remembering which hotel room number? Check. It's all about discipline. Look, live television happens really fast. Every time you plug something in, you tug it to make sure it's connected. Plug it and tug it. We don't go back and do things twice, and we don't make mistakes. In the 16 years that I've spent teaching my truck guy course, I've cloned myself 37 times. That's a lot of educated and talented young, now skilled engineers out there running trucks. Then COVID hit, and all my television training stopped. I was so bummed out. I never realized how much I missed my students. The quarantines meant I had to stay 6 feet away from people, so to deal with my frustration, I spent my quarantine bomb dropping 7 floors of the hotel parking garage on my longboard. It's my 54th birthday, and I'm gonna celebrate. Hey, if you have to quarantine 6 feet away from people, be epic. When I couldn't fly off to go train new engineers, I just broke out my GoPro and started making little training videos. And I want you to take a look at how we've got this set up. This was completely, selfishly therapeutic. Today we are going to look at the Miller tripod. I shot a short video explaining how to tighten the brakes on the tripods.
This brake is slipping.
I shot a second short video about fixing up the intercom headsets.
Today we are going to go over buyer headsets.
Once people caught on that truck guy was going pro and that 800 pictures from my troubleshooting course were starting to come to life, I got a lot of help. Good morning, everybody. Today we're working on lift gates. My truck guy training videos were soon given a proper name, Steve's Station, and they made me into this ridiculously good-looking geek, which the more I look at this, the more accurate I believe this is to be. Nice shirt, dude. I suggested Crimpin' Ain't Easy, featuring Sunny D. But none of my suggestions made it past first base. Hello, everybody. Today we're going to talk about power cables. To pull this off and try to sound professional, first I needed to perfect my announcer voice. Hydraulic lift gates are found on most of our mobile units. And to keep it fun, I needed a few new taglines. Why? Because the more you know, the better you'll be. The most important thing was that I could get back to training again, even from a distance. We want you to load it up as much as you can, and then leave it behind. Just like that. Done.
That's what I'm going to teach you how to do.
This is the one that you want to adjust right here. I'll show you how to do that. I could just lob these GoPro training bombs from out on location, like here, at Yankee Stadium.
Here's another example of a Miller tripod setup. Now let's go downstairs and tighten one up. And that's a 52.2. Both of those listen circuits are complete.
I would go into the television compound a few hours ahead of the crew just to shoot training videos to explain common maintenance or troubleshooting techniques.
I do this every time the same exact way.
We lost control of the hard camera's iris motor. Then we're gonna open these two latches and we're gonna slide the shroud forward, showing you exactly where the problem was. These two little screws hold this plastic cover on, and how to solve the problem. And just roll your finger right over that motor like that, so that everyone can just go back to having a happy broadcast. And that's all I did, and the camera came back to life and they used it for the rest of the game. Whenever we would have a very common problem pop up, I'd shoot a little video of all the tricks on how to solve it. And I know all the tricks. Hello everybody. I came across a problem here and I'm gonna show you how to fix it. It's very simple. So the first thing you wanna do when the liftgate stops working is to pull out the tray that holds all of the controls. Here's how you do that. And I'm gonna teach you how to change that. I'm gonna share with you everything it took to restore this voltage.
Now, here's the magic.
I brought you to my maintenance bench and I taught you all of my favorite connectors.
What we're looking for is that gap. If we still need to trim it, there'll still be a gap there. One brand new Tri-X. Cable's good.
I explained everything about this job. It was like a jump start for every new engineer out on the road. You would think that making an interesting video about wire would be difficult, but not for me. But before we go hacking off cam lock connectors, first we have to discuss a few ridiculously interesting pictures. Let's compare 4/0 to 2/0. The double-walled 2/0 looks like the 4/0, but it's lighter and it only handles about half the load. I taught you the importance of discipline.
Emergency, shut the soldering iron off.
What's up? You good?
Always remember, as soon as someone interrupts your soldering, you turn off your soldering iron before you leave your bench.
I taught you. Always be prepared for your crew.
As always, before we get to go play on the workbench, we need to take care of our show and our crew. Here I am preparing this shipment of cameras. But as always, work hard to get your crew up and running before you tackle a repair like this one.
I showed you how to inventory your trucks. Why don't we put all the audio on one side and all the video cables on the other like some of the other trucks do, and they immediately saw the benefit of what I was suggesting. I taught you all about your power cables. Then the cable you use has to match the maximum load of what you're hooking up. The more you know, the better you'll be. I even gave you little tips on how to keep your trucks in great shape and keep your crews happy. Can you hear it? Listen to the difference between that and that. That's the way it should go. Let's fix that. Success. A clean truck is a happy truck. To help the crews have a better shopping experience, they voted on which ideas they liked and I got to work. There were even times I showed you me learning something. I figured if I'm gonna learn it, you're coming right along with me. Let's learn something.
Without this connector right here, those sides are not interchangeable.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Told you he was smart.
But I always asked for permission before I broke something open to make it better, because that's what engineers do. We ask for permission first before we re-engineer.
Dear Sir Build-A-Lot, can I do this to your other trucks, please? Thank you.
I even taught you all of my favorite geek self-pleasuring tools. Two of my favorite tools are the amp clamp and the digital thermometer. We're gonna use these right now to go hunt down hot cam locks. I even showed you one not so pleasuring tool. Have you ever seen such a cool tool? This is called a ratcheting cable cutter. I taught you all of my television cable tricks.
Right before you tighten the compression ring, I want you to push 1 inch of the cable into the connector. Then hold it there while you finish screwing the lock together. This ensures that the strain relief pulls on the insulation and not on the solder points. And there you have it. The new connector is installed and ready to test.
I even answered some of your questions before you even asked them.
So this brings us to your first logical question is, why are there temperature differences on the same cable?
I covered everything from textbook, P-Touch does not spell check, to MacGyver. Here's a really good idea to avoid needing tie lines for power cable at strike. I was super instructor. I gave you some 100 level instruction.
Make sure that they've got 3 feet on the bottom. Look for the marking right there that says 4 on. This is a hydraulic pump. It's supposed to be making a lot of noise. Right now it's not making any noise. It's not going up.
Always elevate any power cables when you're dealing with snow and ice. This keeps the power cables from freezing to the ground. I gave you some 200 level instruction.
All right, now we're gonna test the voltage on the incoming lead to the solenoid. But before you put it away, you clean it, you tin it, and you put it away. It's ready? This is the sound. Do you hear it? That's the sound it makes when it's energizing.
I took you up to level 300.
A brand new mic element will read just shy of 200 ohms.
We just saw 191 amps cleanly passing through a 108-degree cam lock, so we know what low resistance through clean copper looks like. Intermittent voltage usually means one thing: a broken wire.
First we make you street smart, how to look for stuff. Then we make you book smart. What have I found?
That's what's actually happening on this liftgate, is that you don't have a failure of a solenoid or a failure of a hydraulic pump. You're just having a failure on the control lead wire. This is a problem that would have evaded any repairman coming in and just changing out the solenoid.
If you pass my truck guy class, then you earned your trophy. The more you know, the better you'll be. Sometimes I got a little serious.
What do you think, guys? See how you find it?
Sometimes I got really serious.
And I'll show you why I was so concerned.
But I always kept it light.
And so we're just gonna call it this guy, that guy, the other guy, and the ring thing. And then we're gonna go right to the connector where the work is.
And with me, training was always fun.
So for this video, first we're gonna go through Walmart, then we're gonna go through the audio roll-around kit, and then we're gonna come back down here and I'm gonna talk all about the belly bass.
I always kept you guys in the loop as I reported from the front lines.
This video wouldn't be complete without an update on the bad cam locks that we found.
Let's look closely at this old connector and see what we can learn. So thank you to anyone who still lets me know that they changed their first connector with one of my training videos.
I'm gonna teach you how to change that.
Look for shiny copper wire, not shiny gold wire.
Thank you for watching these training videos. Thank you for your feedback, and have a good show.
Now it's time to pass this torch that has illuminated so many of your paths. It's time for you to carry on training the next generation. The only way to preserve our knowledge is to teach it. Now it's your turn to be the ones with all the answers. Now you are all the truck guy. Oh, the expando won't close. Oh, the expando won't open. Oh, the headset doesn't talk and the frame got unplugged and the stapler fell into the track. Oh, they ran the cables under the lift gates. Oh, the belly bay lights don't work. What's that smell? Shouldn't these meters be higher? It's your turn now. Preserve the knowledge and support your fellow engineers. Invent new ways to share your experiences. Think outside the box. So thank you, Broadcast Television, for 32 years of great memories. Television helped me see the world, and I'll appreciate these good friends forever. So take good care of each other and yourselves. This is legendary super truck guy Sunny D, signing off.
The answer's always yes, and if I don't have one, I'll solder you one. Who hasn't heard me say all this before?
Thank you guys, and have a good show. This has been another My First Rodeo production.